Alright, what sold in December of 2020? By the way, I wore this to Christmas at the in-laws. I got there and I had a coat on and they're like, "Oh, you wore an ugly hat." I was like, "No, my hat's not ugly." And I took my coat off and they lost it and they're like, "Ah, look at this shirt." I was like, "What? I like this shirt. It's a nice shirt." Cats. Anyways, what sold in December of 2020? I think I have a few more than 10, but it won't take long. Alright, first item was a Singer sewing machine. I bought this at an auction for 10 bucks and sold for 120 plus shipping. This is a kerosene lamp. I don't remember where I got this at, probably an auction. Sold for 65 plus shipping. This here, high chair. I think I listed this about 4 or 5 months ago. I got this at an auction. I paid 5 bucks. It was this. There's a pile of stuff. There was a ladder, this, and a few other things. I really wanted the ladder, but I got this too. And so I listed on eBay. Sold it for 110 plus shipping, and it actually went to a prop department for a Netflix series. So that's kind of cool. A pair of Jinko jeans sold for $95 plus shipping. Fishing pole. This item came in the store. I paid $30 for this and another one. I kept the other one because I like the way it's set up. This one here, I don't like this particular type of reel. They always just go a casting and then I've got a knot and then just throw it away. So I sold that one for $125 plus shipping. It went to another country. I don't remember which country it went to. Here's a vintage Coleman kerosene lamp, or vase. Sold for $255 plus shipping. It went to another country as well. I don't remember where it went. This here I bought an entire chicken coop full of trash. Not really. There was some cool stuff in there, but it was like all stuff that'd been in there forever. And this was in here. We didn't even see that when I bought it. I bought it because there was a couple of Lawn Boy mowers and some very, very old edgers and farm equipment, like little farm stuff, and wooden boxes and stuff like that. But we found this and sold for $255. I paid 5 bucks for the entire chicken coop full of stuff. Okay, it's a set of horns. I got these at an auction for a couple bucks. Sold for $140 plus shipping. This blender with all the accessories, I bought that at auction for $5. It wasn't all together. It was like all in separate little boxes, and I bought the main part of it and like one of the bowls, and then like other people at the auction, they all know me. They're like, "Hey, this goes to your thing, this goes to your thing," and so they like hooked me up with all this stuff here, and it only cost me 5 bucks for all of it. This little stapler, I paid I think $1 for an entire table of just leftover tools that nobody wanted at the auction. Sold it for $115 plus shipping. This has a crazy story behind it that I can't really tell on YouTube. So anyways, I had this thing for $1,200 on eBay. It sold for $8. I paid 65 bucks for it. It was 56 inches tall, 40 pounds, huge giraffe made of brass. And yeah, it went to Canada. So someone in Canada got themselves a huge giraffe. That is the stupidest thing in the world. These are my old tools that I'm getting rid of because I bought all new 20-volt DeWalt stuff. It's a Craftsman set I had forever. Sold it for $96 plus shipping. Little TV. I sell a lot of these TVs. A lot of people don't mess with them because they're hard to ship and they're a pain in the butt to ship. But they sell well. I sold it for, I think this one sold for like $110 plus shipping. A little tool set. Someone brought this in the store. They didn't have a charger for it. I gotta give them 10 bucks for it because they didn't have a charger. Sold for $85 plus shipping. This little guy. I don't remember where I got him. I got a whole bunch of like He-Man and action figures and stuff. I think it was at an auction where I bought like an entire trailer of stuff for $1 because it was like everybody thought it was trash, and some of it had gotten wet and rained on and stuff. And I went through it, threw half of it away, kept half of it, and I've made probably a couple grand off of that $1. But this guy sold for $150 plus free shipping. And this, I bought this off eBay for my skid loader. I bought a skid loader and one of the hoses blew, and I bought it, the hose, and then I was like waiting for it to come in. I was like, screw it, and I went and just had hoses made. And so when this came in, I just relisted it on eBay. I think I paid $120 for it, and I resold it for $140. So that took care of all the fees and everything. So those were my, I was gonna say top 10 sales, but I think there was like 14 there, of December 2020. I sold probably close to 200 items in December, and most of them were, you know, between $10 and $70. But these were the higher ones, that are cool ones, the fun ones, the ones that make you excited. So be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and all those other things, and we'll see you next time.